Hello and welcome back to another episode, and you're not going to believe what happened today. After the piggybacking of me talking about the world's probably the worst buyer, I wouldn't go that far, but let's call him the world's worst buyer. Actually went to the post office, slid into the post office like I normally do when I come home from work, and a fellow reseller was there. I speak to him probably 3 or 4 times a week, and he goes to me, "Josh, I have a question for you." And I said, "Yes, mate. What's your question?" And if you're watching this, this is exactly what you deserve for not watching my previous 2 videos. He said, "What do I do with returns that come from America?" I dedicated 2 videos on how to deal with returns from America. So if you're a new reseller, if you're catching on, or you haven't caught up with the last 2 videos, I'm going to save you probably 60 minutes of your life. You don't need to go back there. There is going to be a little bit of cat footage in this one. K-Farn, our beloved, I suppose, resident cat in the comments. If you do see K-Farn, you'll probably see, she normally comments on every video. I have what I call Salem Cam, which is basically him looking out the window at the birds that he wants to eat. And he's not allowed to go outside because he's not allowed to eat birds. And that's enough for that. So saving yourself 60 minutes. If you have returns overseas, like in America primarily, the best way around it, and I spoke to this guy this afternoon when I told him as well, is to go back and watch the last 2 videos. Not for you though. That's his punishment. But if you're an Australian reseller and you have international returns, and we're just looking at primarily from America, this perspective, that's on me. We'll go with that one. I'm just going to stop doing that. It's annoying me. So what you can do is actually find someone that you know overseas that you have a relationship with, in the sense that could be a YouTuber or someone that you've built a rapport with and you know. Don't start sending your returns willy-nilly to people without doing a background check. Alternatively, and failing that, what I would strongly suggest is opening up a forwarding account, in the sense of, like I said, My US. I'm not sponsored. I'm primarily only talking about them because I use them. So to quote my little friend at the post office this afternoon, he said, "Look, Josh, when I went through UPS to try and get it returned," and he's primarily a used clothing seller, so just say a pound, maybe a kilo, so maybe 2.2 pounds. Look, I did the conversion. It cost him about $150, I think he said. Put it in the comment section below, mate, if you are watching. Probably not. You're going to ask me the same question tomorrow. If you send that through a forwarder, you may pay, just say, $10, $15 Australian to get it from where it is in America to Florida, which is where my place is. It's tax-free as well. There's a lot of forwarding services that are tax-free. I think there's a couple in Delaware as well. I'm not too sure. Do your own research. I really need to get an affiliate code for My US. But like I was saying, is that they do have a basic plan, which is free. They have like a $5 a month one, which I do because it gets basically, I think I get like an extra service or I get something. Well, hell, you could even use mine. Like, you reach out to me. If I'm bringing something back, you probably can just, chuck it in mine, just pay the postage, and we can go from that way. However, if you use the forwarder, like I was saying before, he's probably quoted around that, about $140. I'm not too sure if that's American because he was using UPS. Quite possibly may have been. Or alternatively, when I ship back stuff from America, it's going to cost you probably about $30 US. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's a hassle. However, it's one of those things to avoid being scammed. Like I was saying in the last couple of days, and I'm going to close it out on this one. If you don't want to be scammed, you don't want to lose your item, you've got a big ticket item, you can have it forwarded to a shipper and they will take photos of you. Once it arrives in that shipper, you will need to issue that refund. So you'll have your 3 days from there. But the photos, you can actually request more photos. So if you send the lava lamp, for example, and it comes back with cracks in it or it's a different color entirely, you can pay an extra $5 or whatever it is to the shipping company, get some better photos. Then you're going to go attack eBay from that way. But if you are shipping internationally, which I really recommend for all the Australian resellers that do watch me, for those in America, we don't have the global shipping program. I did say that in the previous video. We normally need to use Australia Post to ship everything out, which is a bit problematic, especially when it comes to eBay abandoning us. Is that a word? We'll roll with that. If we have a return, international return. Normally, there's quite some savvy buyers. I have seen Reddit posts in the past where they are on Facebook, where someone's taken a screenshot where they've got dedicated Reddit posts, whatever they're called, and Facebook groups on how to scam on eBay. Because a lot of people, and this is said before, is they disassociate the seller with eBay. They think they're ripping eBay off opposed to the seller. So that is very mindful. If you are selling on not a full-time basis, but a regular basis, you are opening up shipping to America. I would suggest probably shipping very small items, hence is why I ship Skylanders. Don't go sending kilos and kilos of books. You're going to have a problem. But like I was saying, highly recommend using a forwarder, or there's someone over in America that you can trust that you can send your stuff to. Primarily, the case that I mentioned with Chris the other day, I would use him, for example, for this Skylander. If my spidey senses were tingling, in the sense that I thought that this person was going to damage the product, and it was quite a considerable amount of money, which is $150 Australian, right? So I did the conversion. It's about $104 Australian. You probably, after fees and postage and sales tax, it's probably about $120 American. Oh, sorry, $104 Australian. He was probably out of pocket about $120 American. So if I literally made him lose his marbles, he could have sent me the character back, or kind of cut the character's head off, and opened up an INAD and said to eBay, this is how it arrived, do something about it, and I would have been out of $180. But like I was saying, is that if you push, like Mike was saying the other day, especially in your domestic, don't accept partial refunds. Don't give them, highly suggest that you don't. However, when it comes to international, it's really every man for themselves. So if you are going down the path of no partial refunds, you need to return the item. Highly recommend a forwarding service, but going from there, I do want to give you a bit of a treat today. This is going to be a very short video. I'm back at work now. I'm exhausted. So I'm going to try and keep it to the 10-minute mark. So I want to give you a bit of a rare treat today. So I actually procured some Skylanders, surprise, on Facebook Marketplace a couple of days ago. It was a bit of a go and throw with the seller because he was actually out of state. I had to wait for him to get back home, which is coincidentally enough on the Gold Coast, where our favourite people are. And so, long story short, it arrived today, and I was happy with the way he posted it. So, it arrived in the same box as the same size as the box as the other ones I mentioned. I paid $400 for this box. So, transferred in the money, happy with that. So he's actually held up his end of the deal. It's pretty bad when, I'm going to be very careful the way I say this, when a 17-year-old kid can ship properly and a 50-something-year-old lady can't. And that might be just on me. Maybe I'm just expecting too much. However, I would expect the opposite, especially from my kids. However, so we're going to give it a bit of a treat. So I've been talking about chasers before, so characters that are so rare that you would never come across them in the wild. I have shown you Flocked Springtime Trigger Happy before. I did a bit of eBay arbitrage on that one. She did list it for auction for $560. I was the only person to bid on it, which I'm more than happy to do because there is some secret Skylander knowledge that I know, and hence why I'm going quite heavy on Skylanders at the moment. There's something coming down range this year that may spike the Skylander market. So keep tuned or stay tuned for a future video, and I will talk about that. However, the chase variants. So like we said with the Flocked Flocked Springtime Trigger Happy, which is an Easter variant, there's 1,500 of those running around. 1 in 1,000 Skylanders. We'll go that way, right? I don't particularly know what the ratio is. However, I've acquired one. Jeez, I'm going. Oh, jeez. Back at work for one day, and I speak worse English than I do normally. So I've acquired one. So this guy, like I said, this 17-year-old sent me a box full of them. Some more rare than others. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick look at what they look for. If you do see them in the thrift shop, grab them. If you do see them on Facebook Marketplace, grab them. Sell them to me. I'll give you a decent price. So not all Skylander chasers go for obscene money, is one of the ones I will show in a second. Some are like a Walmart variant. They may have been released over here in Toys R Us, or they may have been imported. I can't really tell because, like I said, this kind of information is lost to the sands of time. I really can't track anything down. And a lot of I suppose the target audience for Skylanders were probably quite young, ripped all the boxes apart. So I was quite surprised with this 17-year-old. But we'll get started. So this is Golden Flameslinger. So if I'll come up to the screen, where are we going? So this one is generally this is a chase variant of this one, right? So if you look, probably bad, but he's like got a bronze finish. So he's what is classed as a chase figure. This is for giants. It might necessarily have been a chase figure. It could have been a store exclusive. However, it probably, in this condition, probably about $100, right? So give or take, the boxes are quite dusty. So I dare say they've either come from storage, or you may have found them in a storage container or a storage locker, which is fantastic. I don't particularly care where they've come from. As long as they're not stolen, I do not care. Sell them to me. It's going to keep saying that. And I can't stress enough, you're probably better off, and this is being completely honest, I'm not trying to, hijack you or, take advantage of you and all those different things. And there's someone that I do need to get back on Instagram. I haven't forgotten about you. You're better off selling to me. Like, I can't stress enough that some characters I'll pay lots for. So for this character, for example, if I can sell it for $100, I'll probably pay $40-50. However, this character, if you're going to sell it, may sit forever and a day. It's going to sit forever and a day for me, right? It's more the case that I'm sourcing these at a higher price point. For the simple fact is, I want people to look at my store kind of like a Skylander museum, that if they're after those unique, really, really hard to find characters, they come to my store. You're better off selling to me than I can do whatever I need to do from that way. And you get some money straight away. You don't have to worry about it. Don't auction these things off, as what we found with the springtime trigger happy lady. She put it at $560. There was one bid, it was mine, and I put it straight away up for $1,000. So it might sit there for for a couple of months. However, once this thing comes down range with the Skylanders, which I will talk about in a future video, the reason why I'm being so cagey about it is because I don't have confirmation as to the way it's going to roll out. It's not a video game, so don't worry about that. It's not a remaster. It's not all these different things. It's something that's coming down range. If you do some Googling, you can probably work it out yourself. But like I said, that it may give some short-term interest into the market. And I would strongly suggest, if you aren't selling me your Skylanders, look for the ones that are complete. If you go into eBay now, just type in Skylanders, look at newly listed, you'll see ones with arms broken, you'll see ones with heads missing. These ones are actually hurting your store. So you're better off selling the pristine ones. Went and see my new best friend at the shops yesterday to drop his his present off. He was ecstatic. He actually came, I don't have one on me, he was actually carrying a little bag of his own Skylanders because he didn't think I was going to bring something to store him in. And he actually wanted to show me the Skylanders that he had bought off me previously. So he was quite happy. Like I said, fell into that category I spoke about yesterday. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, this is your clientele. This is your buyer base. Learn your buyer base, regardless if it's Skylanders or you're selling used clothing. Find out who your buyer base is. Like, you might be selling goth stuff. You're not necessarily going to be selling it to church ladies. Possibly, I'm not too sure. But the more that you learn about the audience, learn the target avatar, and that's why. I'm not going to say I'm the best Skylanders seller in Australia or probably in the world. I'm probably the only person on YouTube that constantly harps on about them in a reselling space. But I learned the demographic. I learned the target avatar. I did have someone say with the autism, the scam the other day is that I should have come back and said, hey, look, I identify as an octopus. They might have thrown them for $6. But, all right, so we're going to move on. This is Golden Flame Slinger. This one's glow in the dark Fright Rider. Jeez, I can't speak. They're all very dusty, like I said before. So I'm going to take a very wet cloth, slightly damp cloth to very gently get the dust off and all those different things. The boxes are, I suppose the blisters you can't really see. They are damaged to a degree. This character is quite common, even though it's a chase. It's probably going to go about that $35 to $40. It's not really highly sought after. I do have about 4 or 5 of these loose in the horrendous tubs over there. So we've got 2 of these. Going back to what I was speaking about with Walmart exclusives. This is glow in the dark Sonic Boom, which is a bird. This is probably the second one I've actually came across. And the first one I came across was that big $500 bulk lot I picked up last week. This is the first one I've come in box, I think. Maybe the third, I'm not too sure. So it glows in the dark, and these glow phenomenal. Like I've said before, I could probably just charge them up, put them on the shelf, and use that as a nightlight for the whole night. These, I've never, ever seen something glow so bright as these things. I'm love glow-in-the-dark things. I love all these different things that glow in the dark. I'm a bit of a sucker for these things. So things like this, I get pretty excited about. And these ones here, these are what are called variants, right? So these aren't chases. They are just basically different color variants of the character. So the difference between variants and chase figures, when, for example, you put Sonic Boom on your little portal of power, the character up the top, like the black one there with the black bird, that's actually, it's going to come up in game. So the glow-in-the-dark stuff doesn't come up in game, just the black bird. So that's how you can tell the difference between a chase or a variant figure. Jeez, I'm really struggling for content today. This is a variation. So this one's called Polar Whirlwind. So generally it's just like a light blue character. It's got kind of like a diamond snow finish, and it's actually will come up like that grey bird, unicorn bird thingamajiggy up the top in game. Likewise with Flashwing. So Flashwing's generally purple, and this one's the Jade Flashwing. It will come up green on the portal. So there we go. So without further ado, geez, I feel like flipping that easy. I'm going to get to the creme de la creme. So the one I'm going to show you next is the reason why I actually picked up this bundle. I just checked eBay sold comps because I got my phone on airplane mode because I'm sucking through the battery. The last one that sold was probably, what's today, the 13th, the 12th? Sold on the 11th of January for $640 Australian. I paid, what did I say, $400 for all of those. It's not a particularly, profitable deal in the sense, just to get all these different things. But like I said, I am bringing those characters in more or less for the uniqueness and to try and basically get people to come through the store that way. So this one is a true chase variant of Wrecking Ball for Spyro's Adventure, which is the first game. It's got the green base. I haven't tested it yet, so something that people don't know, if you do get them in box, especially the older ones, they're probably going to be a little bit more, especially if they're a chase variant, right? A little bit more worth in decent quality boxing. So what you can do, you can put it directly on the portal and it'll come straight up. So this one, like I said, it's a chase variant. He's going to come up like he is at the top with his little blue Wrecking Ball-ness. I don't have one on me at the moment, so I can't really tell you what... Can't tell you anyway. This is the one that went for $630, or $640. I can't remember what it was. I'll flash it up later. On yesterday, the day before in the UK. So I very seldom... this is the first time I've actually seen the character in box, let alone anywhere else. I've never seen it loose. I do have some more chase variants coming loose in the next fortnight. Had another kid, I don't know where all these kids come from. They reached out to me on Facebook Marketplace or Facebook and asked me, am I interested in buying his chase variant? So just one, not this one, but a very similar one. It's not this one, but we'll just pretend it's this one, right? I don't have a copy. No, I don't have it. All right, we're just going to say it. This one. It's not this one, but very similar. This one and that one, if it was a chase figure, I really should have prepared more. But if it's these two together, they'll probably go for $1,000. So there's 3 chase variants that I'm aware of that glow in the dark in these packs. There are 3-pack, so you can get this character in a 3-pack. And he comes as a glow in the dark chase in that 3-pack as well. But if you have all 3 of the chases even loose, I think they go for about $1,200, $1,400, $1,600, $1,800 because that's how rare they are. And collectors just want to get them in one foul swoop. They'll pay it doesn't work like a bulk deal with these chase variants. The more you get, the more you can charge from that way. So I'm in 2 minds. I'll probably list this one for probably $750 on Australia. Yes, the other one sold for $640, but that had plus postage on it. So I'll clean up the box. There is a little bit of separating down here, a little bit of issues, box condition issues down the bottom. Nothing entirely major, primarily because of how rare this character is. It's not a big issue. I'm actually surprised how good it is for the age and for the condition. It came out in 2011, so 14 years old, on the way to 14 years old. I know that's not big in collectors' terms or big in collecting spaces for age of products. However, you've got to be mindful of that a kid that owned this may have been 7, so now he's 22. And quite possibly, if he falls into that demographic I spoke a little bit earlier, probably doesn't have a girlfriend, probably doesn't have a boyfriend, doesn't have a significant other or a partner. So he might have some disposable income. He always wanted this when he was a kid. He's going to go fork out for that money for it. So like I said, is that you really, really, really need to know your demographic. I'm not trying to pigeonhole people. However, yeah, there would be people that fall into that avatar and, you know, will do that from that perspective. What I will do is I will show you some of the chase variants to keep an eye out for. I would strongly suggest if you do come across a chase variant, like I was saying, if it's glows in the dark, just reach out to me on Instagram. Don't necessarily sell it to me, because it probably wouldn't be worth your time. Even though I said a little bit earlier, probably sell every Skylander to me. You could put those up, not the common ones. Like I said, the glow in the dark Fright Rider and Sonic Boom, loose, they go for about $20 each. So, and they're dime a dozen. But if you do get a glow-in-the-dark character, reach out to me on Instagram, probably because I keep forgetting to check emails. Ask me what you've got and what price point it is. These things come so rare, I'm more than happy to spend 5 minutes to say, hey, look, it's glow-in-the-dark Wrecking Ball. Probably put it up at $750, or if it's loose, put it up for $400 and go from there. But anyway, let me know what you learned today. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you my probably my Dungeons and Dragons book lot that I picked up. I don't know if I'm going to break even on this one, so this is probably a sourcing mistake. I'm trying to learn that niche, so I forked out $500 for a big stack of early 90s books, in the sense of, you know, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and not Pathfinder, some other ones you'll probably see tomorrow. So I'm just trying to get my head around that niche. I'm more than happy to spend $500 to know what I'm looking for, learn the keywords, learn the audience, learn the target avatar, because most likely those people are probably in their 50s or 40s. Their kids are probably moving out of home, so they've got some disposable income. Maybe not. We'll find out. And they probably start, you know, trying to relive the nostalgia of their childhood. So maybe that's the case. And guess what comes out this year, next year? Put it in the comments section below if you know it's coming out either this year or next year on Netflix, what may increase the price of Dungeons and Dragons. But anyway, that's it for another day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.